New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Good morning. It's The Drive, live from our new studios in, is it 1000 or 100 Bridgeport Ave, Rob? Help me out here.
1000.
1000 Bridgeport Ave. Proud to be with the Hersom Acorn. I said it correctly
Look
this
at
time.
you.
Right.
On the first try, no less.
It's the new studio. Brings out the best in me.
It does.
Well, listen, we've got a great guest on today. Sarah Galuzzo, the founder of Gorganics, is here to tell us how her quest for making better choices and healthy foods for her family evolved into a business that has now found the most fabulous award-winning salsa up and down, I'm going to say the East Coast, right?
Yes.
Pretty much. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, there she is. We're testing out some new headphones today, so everybody hang in there with us. Sarah, welcome to the Daily Drive.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. I'm really happy to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your product. We have it right here.
Fabulous.
I better hold it so people can see it.
Absolutely. There's Gorganics. So this is the spicy. I make. Am I
You got to talk.
talking loud enough?
Got to talk straight into this lovely mic.
There you
Right
go.
here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're okay.
So here in front of us, I'm looking at a jar of spicy. I have two flavors. I make it using my own recipe and Connecticut-grown organics. So I use all USDA organic produce grown in the state. I have relationships with 2 farmers. And in that way, I can help make it healthy, local, sustainable, support local farmers, and also kind of really talk to people about food and have some conversations about food.
So tell us, though, how you got started, because this is a huge project that's been going on for how many years?
Well, I started in 2008, so I've been at it for a while.
But what created the jumping point?
Okay, so I had a few kids. I was kind of at that place that that you get to when you're just learning about different things. I was learning about motherhood, how I wanted to raise my family, how I wanted to feed my family, learning more about kind of processed food and what's going on with the food industry in America, like the things that were being talked about with those large corporations and what they were doing to our seed. And I thought, wow, I don't think I want to feed my kids baby food that has, pesticide in the seed. How am I going to avoid that? And I learned more about organics. So I started making all my own baby food for my kids. So then as time, that was in the early 2000s when they were little. And then as time evolved, I thought...
Wait a minute. Now, you just passed that comment nonchalantly.
Yeah.
That's no small task to start making your baby food nonchalantly. Tell us a little bit about the research that went into that. Because I think a lot of people think that they want to do that, but when they take on that daunting task, they actually maybe don't quite get there. And so you had a great motivation to do that. Tell me about that first.
Okay, well...
Because we're on together for an hour, so you got to tell me a
can
lot
go-
of things.
We could go slow. Okay.
We could go slow.
Yeah, so I have a family that is very creative, very interested in making choices that are, sometimes not the easiest thing to do. So one of my sisters told me that she had made baby food for her daughter and kind of gave me a lot of ideas. But making baby food for your kids is not that hard. It can be as easy as buying an organic baked potato, putting it in your oven until it cooks, cooling it down, mashing it, and putting it in ice cube trays so that you can freeze it, so that every day you just pop one out, put it in a bowl, mash it with some rice, and give your baby food. So that's how easy it can be to pre-cook baby food for your child,
Because in the actual newsletter that we sent out to everybody, we said there was a quest, and you really have been a lady on a quest, because that was just the jumping point. And then you kept going on with personal development and enrichment and looking into it. Bring us right up to how you did, because I read something about you said that these are the most award-winning chip salsas that your chips just can't wait to meet. So tell me about that.
Okay, so let's just go back to the baby food and how, and I'll move off of that in a second. So as I was trying to think about, as an entrepreneur, I was trying to think a lot about, what do I want to do now? I would love to try and create a food-based business. My older sister is a classically trained chef. In our home, we always cooked from our family garden. So what am I going to do? And then this was around the time that there was those Lunchables coming out, where the
crazy Lunchables with the bad bologna, and the bad cheese and the crazy crackers.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And my idea about the Lunchables was that they had taken the Japanese bento box, and they had completely bastardized that idea and turned it into the most unhealthy possible kind of thing that you could possibly serve a child. So I thought, what if I took that bento box and kind of tried to get something like that into the school lunches? So I called our town. I did some calls to see whether or not that would be a possibility. And
our town, wait a minute, what's your town?
Well, the town of Fairfield.
Oh, you're a Fairfielder.
Yes, I am.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm sort of biased to Fairfielders, if anyone hasn't noticed with my show.
No,
sorry, guys. Go ahead.
So anyway, so that wasn't really working out. So I was still kind of just going through all these different ideas and brainstorming. What would I do if I wanted to create a healthy food that I could market and get into families and, maybe get my kids excited about? And my neighbor Jane, who lives across the street, said to me, "Well, you make that awesome salsa. Why don't you just put that in a jar and see how it goes?"
That because it's all. There's so many things in that jar. We're getting there.
Yes,
good.
So that's kind of how the salsa became the product. And my dream is that this salsa is not my only product ever, but right now it is.
So you took what was a homemade recipe, and then you had to bring it forward. Yep. Because I know it's organic, and there's a lot of rhetoric to be U.S. Tell us about what it takes to be USA. Give me the terminology. Organic.
It's USDA organic certification. So from there, I decided on a shoestring budget to rent a commercial kitchen and just start making salsa. I had a bunch of friends, some of which still speak to me, in spite of the fact that one threw out her back chopping onions. So I had friends come in in shifts and chop and create product with me. And, we had health inspectors there. We had USDA organic inspectors there. There was everything had to be properly done. I had gotten certification classes and figured out all the things I needed to do this properly, and it was a lot of work, but it was so exciting and so much fun. And
so,
that
guys,
was how I started.
So everybody that's listening, this is a real quest. I mean, this is not any little walk in the park. You're very dedicated. You're empowering all your friends. They're seeing your thought leadership, so they're joining you, and that kind of weaves back to the principles of the daily drive. So you found something you're really passionate about, and you're fueling not only yourself but others because they're coming on board. So now you get that certification. What was the process there? Like, how long did it take you to become certified? And there must have been some hurdles.
Yes. A certifier comes in. He goes through, I think we were 5 to 7 hours of paperwork just to make sure that every single ingredient on the jar has the proper seal and the, to prove that it is a USDA organic product, that it hasn't been grown in a way that isn't within those standards.
And what are those standards? I mean, for example, like, what does it mean to be organic? I mean, sometimes that term is very loosely used, and people say not all things are organic.
Big part is GMOs.
Right.
Nothing that you eat that is organic is genetically modified in any way. There's no pesticides used on it. Mm-hmm. So there's standards also of how far things can be stored near farms. I don't know all of the farmer standards, but there are standards about how far away something that's non-organic can grow so that there's no cross-pollination. So those laws I'm not as familiar with as I am with the packaging and the laws about getting it in the jar, which check the kind of soap you're using. Make sure there's no pesticides.
Wow, the soap too.
Yeah, no pesticide practices in your kitchen that are against the pesticide practices of the certifier. So it's very complicated in that way, but as long as you follow the rules, it's not that big a deal.
So as a person, you sound like you've always been pretty inquisitive and always pretty driven, no pun intended, of
Yes,
course.
yes.
And you've always been pretty motivated by whatever it is that you're passionate about. I also own a family business, as you know, a few of them actually, and I want to know how you feel. How did your family relate to all of this as you, I'm sure, were working your regular job and then doing this? That's a lot of hours. So where were they on that journey? Were they happy? Were they helpful?
So supportive.
Were they freaking out because now we were eating all organic foods? Like Ava will say to me, Mom, you're the only mother that talks about organic food. I'm like, no. I know several others. It's not just me.
It's really, I think things in that respect, I think change is happening very quickly in this country because people are really starting to be aware of how important making good food choices is to our children's health and our overall health. So I think that those conversations are getting to, they are changing, which is great. My family was really supportive. Everybody showed up. I have a big supportive family. My mom comes, my sisters come, they're all there all the time. What can we do for you? My husband was extremely supportive. My daughter goes to the demonstrations with me at stores and makes it fun. So
everybody was on board.
Yes.
Everybody was on board.
It
I
was
think we're coming up on a break time. And I would like to thank you so much for your time. When we get back, we're going to, I don't know where the camera is on me. I kind of twist my head back and forth. Oh, sorry, AJ. I should be paying attention. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what sustainability means, what organic means, how it is evolving in our country, and what it takes to be an entrepreneur growing a business from the roots up. So stay tuned for the Daily Drive. The call-in number, everybody that's listening, is 203-442-9055. And we are also taking your calls on Twitter. At Hersham. Oh, come on. I did it again.
Oh, come on. You were right there.
Hand radio, dudes. Look us up.
Hersham Radio.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Breaks, sprains, injuries, and pain can now be quickly and expertly treated at Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Why wait hours in the ER? Save a trip and save money going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast!
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersham Acorn and HANradio.com.
And we're back at the Drive with my friend Sarah Galuzzo, the founder of Gorganics. And I hear in the background we have a call. No, we do not have a call. That was wishful thinking, maybe. Sorry. I want to know what the definition of sustainable food is and sustainable farming, because a lot of people don't know what that is, including myself until I got to know you a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's now we're getting calls. Some might call in and argue with whatever I say.
Listen, we're on the show, not them.
But what I like to do and what it means to me and what I'm trying to do here, what's most important to me is supporting local farmers as opposed to industrial farming. So if I can have, my friend George Hall growing onions for me at a farm in Simsbury and driving them to a co-packing facility, which is where I am now. I'm not doing it all without the help of a team. If I can have him doing that and my friends at another farm, Oxon Hill and Suffield, these are farmers, real family farmers growing on their family farms. If they can do that, then I am not using the kind of fossil fuels that it takes to fly organics in from California. I'm not, all of the kinds of gases that are being created by these large industrial farms. They're just not good for the planet the way your local family farmer growing in season is. And that's a big part of what I stand for and what I'm trying to do when I put these high quality products in the jar.
I mean, and people that are listening, just think about that. You've got somebody that's concerned on so many levels of how the food that she's using in her product is for not only the overall planet and our local community, but for the people that are consuming it in the jars. So we have to talk about, I mean, the words quest in that just keep reminding me. I mean, you have been so dedicated in this quest to keep it moving forward, keep it real, keep it special. Where is it sold?
Well, that's a great question. Whole Foods has been extremely supportive because they really do care about supporting locals. And then a lot of local shops, and the local shops are even more fantastic at times than the national
So
chains.
they get it.
Yeah.
They get
I think when people get it, they really get it and they really care. When I'm in a store, this salsa costs more because of what's in it. It costs a couple dollars more than a lot of the salsas on the shelf. And I haven't been able to address that business challenge yet because I'm at a point where it's impossible. Sometimes more expensive things are more expensive for a reason, and this is the case. But once I have a conversation with the consumer about why it costs more, sometimes they put 2 jars in their basket.
So you're educating your consumers as you're going along,
Right.
because anybody that knows your story and appreciates really good things and understands how important those things are for fueling the mind, the body, the spirit. I mean, you're like the total package. You couldn't be a more perfect guest.
Oh, yay.
So when people understand that, they maybe in so many things, I mean, if you want something better to eat, I think you're willing to spend more money on it, especially when you understand where it comes from.
Yes.
Was it hard to get into Whole Foods?
Yeah, and I'm still not fully in. They have different ways they do it, and I'm not a national Whole Foods vendor yet, so I'm still working towards national and more regional distribution, but I am in all the Whole Foods in Connecticut, although sometimes we fall off the shelf here and there and I have to pursue it again.
Why would you fall off the shelf here and there?
Because somebody new comes in, or I haven't followed up because I've been busy. It's mostly my fault, but
so that's the challenge of running your own business.
The truth of the matter is, in the Whole Foods where it sells well, and the Whole Foods where the managers are passionate and really work, and the demo specialists, it's fantastic for me. They're really helping me a lot with this business and just moving product.
Okay, so you sound like a very busy person. I know you're a mom. I know you do other things unrelated to this. How do you keep it all moving forward? How do you do the juggle if balance is a constant state of motion? Because I always reel it back around to the sort of underlying principles of the drive, how you move yourself forward no matter what's going on. So tell me what you do.
Okay, well, the meditation that I do every day with my drive is fantastic for me. Those 9 minutes, right now I've been slipping down to more like 3 minutes because I haven't had the time. But that moment to recalibrate, I do use that on a daily basis. And that is huge for me, just to take a breath and plan and think. I walk daily. I try to walk daily with my husband or my best friend or someone. I try to do an hour walk every day. And I love to read. And if I don't have the time, I read everything. I like to read a lot of really inspirational. I like fiction. I like nonfiction.
Can you share with us what you're reading right now?
Let's see. I just read I read Something Fun, which was Amy Poehler's autobiography, and right before that,
that is
Tina
cool.
Fey's.
Love Tina Fey.
You know, it's so inspiring to hear these witty, clever women who have fun things to say. Before that, I reread for the second time Animal Vegetable Miracle, which is a book that I love by Barbara Kingsolver, which is about a year where she and her family devoted living off the land for a year. So she literally didn't buy a thing. She and her family lived off their family farm for a year. The only thing they allowed themselves was oil and some grains, I think. And other than that, it was their own animals and their own vegetables.
Where was this? Where did it take place?
Well, she was from Arizona and she moved to
Fairfield, Connecticut?
Yeah, right. I think she moved to Kentucky, if I'm right. I just read it, but I'm spacing on.
That's all
I'm
right.
blanking out on the place she landed, and she lived for a year that way with her family. Her husband's a scientist, and the book also talks a lot about industrial farming, and it's just really interesting. And then I read a book called The Year of Wonders on the Black Plague recently too. So just lots of different things, keeping my mind moving in all different creative directions. And
Yes, you're a very creative person.
I love that. I love reading, and I do a lot of listening to books on tape when I'm walking and working too, which I love.
So what was or is the biggest challenge that you face right now with your company, Gorganics? Like where is the intention? Where are you taking it? And what's the biggest challenge?
Oh, boy.
Well, that was a loaded set of questions. I've been accused of asking too many questions in a trail, so pick whatever one you want.
I need to get I'm in the Columbus Circle Whole Foods, which is really exciting.
That is exciting.
And I need to get in there more. I need to do more demos on the floor, and I need to move more product through those doors. And that is what I have a challenge to do. I had an intern for a semester. She was fantastic because my biggest challenge is just once people taste it, they buy it. So I have to just get more.
And
I need
listen,
more
guys,
staff.
she's leaving a whole bunch of salsas behind for you guys here at Hersham to try. Did I get it right, boss?
Hersham.
Hersham. Oh,
H-E-R-S-A-M.
you won't be seeing me next week. I'm going to get the boot.
My daughter's name
I
is
love
Sam,
you,
so
Denise.
think of her, Sam.
Sam. Her Sam.
Yeah.
Do you know we've done this, and people probably think it's just something we do on purpose, but we've done this relentlessly for 7 weeks now.
And it's
thought it
right
was-
behind you,
her
and it's
Sam.
and it's right there in front
Come
of
on.
you.
I mean,
It's
come
kind of
on,
endearing,
Denise.
though, isn't it?
Oh, it's
it's cute.
she knows that. It's a running gag between us.
It
at
is
this
now
point.
like actually a running gag, so I
It
think
is.
subconsciously I'm doing it on purpose.
Yeah, right.
So we have something to laugh about. No, we always laugh here. Anyways, I fell off the track. I'm really amazed at the fact that you got into Columbus Circle Whole Foods. Was
Yeah.
that different than getting? I know you're in Fairfield Whole
Yep,
Foods.
it was work, and I just hope I can keep it there because they move products on and off. They play with stuff all the time. I've been there since, I've been there 8 months,
And you
we've been
just-
moving product through that store.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember
So
seeing
that's
that.
good. I just need to get in there a lot, and I need to. It's hard to. Because it's one of the busiest, I think it might be the busiest Whole Foods. I don't know the statistic, could be in the world, but it's one of the busiest Whole Foods out there. So it's hard to catch the demo specialist's eye and send her a bunch of emails and book, because I want to book through, August, and I want to be in there twice a month so that I can really push the product through the store, because that's a place where we can move a lot of product and also get a lot of people exposed to how delicious it is, and who knows where I could go from there. But if I need to sell it so I can make more, because these farmers depend on me to order from them. So that's kind of-
you're in
it's
the
an-
huge food chain
Yes.
that you've
Yes,
created,
right.
And that's really what sustainable is to me. You're helping people move forward by being mindful and buying their products, and then being mindful of what you're doing with your own product for those of us that buy it.
Right.
So beyond that, tell me a little bit more about the challenges that you have in continuing. Like, you just got into Whole Foods in Hadley, Mass.
Yep.
I know you're in our local food, our specialty stores around the area.
Yeah, the
And tell me
pantry
what
and the
you've done
cheese
with
shop.
like the naysayers, because that's always something I refer back to in the daily drive, how to take those daily annoyances or those things that create doubt in your mind, because every entrepreneur or every busy person that's really trying something new that might be out of the box always has a couple people that are on the side of the road going, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, and you've overcome a lot of those. So you need to, the whole point of the Daily Drive show is to share with our listeners how we, the guests, move forward so that other people hopefully grab, even if it's a tidbit from the show, something that can help them move forward. And a lot of people will listen and say, she can do it, so I can. So what are you doing to kind of move it forward?
Well,
When you have someone that's like, nah, that's not a good idea, or it's too high priced and all this kind of craziness.
Well, first of all, just trying to, if you tell anyone, I think I'm going to start an organic product, they say to you, oh my gosh, that's going to be too hard. And my feeling going into that piece of it was, just show me how hard it is and watch me do it. Because I got very empowered by the idea of the answer no. No was just making
That
me want
jazzed
to
you
turn
up.
it around and make it a yes. So there's that. And then, not everybody's going to like everything, and it's, this is a free country. They don't have to buy it. But mostly I have a lot of, because everything about it I'm trying to do with such integrity. Mostly I don't have a lot of negativity about the product. I mean, my business financials could use some work because it's not exactly,
We always do the
gonna
stuff
put
we
the
like the
kids through
most.
college, but
We do the stuff we like the most, and we hope the money follows.
Exactly. My friend Polly, whom I really respect, has always talked about our passion projects. What is the thing that drives us as women? What is your passion project? And I love that. So I would say that's what this is for me.
In 2 weeks, we're going to have a show on about volunteering and how important it is and what it does for our community.
Yes.
And I know you and I do a lot of volunteer work. Tell me a little bit about yours and where you put your so-called extra time.
Well, yeah, I would say this is one of my leaner years in the volunteer world. But what I like to do in general is I like to do a lot of cooking programs with children and a lot of food education or school farm programs in inner city. I do some, my friend runs an inner city garden, and I do a lot of work with her kids, just an extra hand. It's her program. Just go in and quietly in the background. And then sometimes I do cooking classes at like the Smilo Burroughs Wakeman in Bridgeport. They'll have me come in. And we've done some really cool cooking classes where we'll do things like take fatty foods on the table and then have the kids use Crisco to measure out exactly how much fat is in that candy bar.
That is a visual we should have had on the show
It
today.
is so
That is so crazy.
interesting.
Yes.
And how much fat and then sugar and salt are in the foods they're
Wait,
eating.
I'm more of a visualist. Say that again.
Okay,
you take
so
the
you actually measure out with Crisco, sugar, and salt. You have them take some of their favorite snacks and measure it out so they see how much of that they're eating.
ooh and goo,
And they love it.
all good at the same
Except
time.
for one kid who started eating the Crisco. I don't know what that was about. But other than that, it's been really a cool exercise that sort of blows their mind. And then we always do I like to take them out to the garden. There's a garden over there. And we bring it all in and we clean it and cook it and make a meal and eat together. So that's one of my favorite things that I do as a volunteer. But I have been sort of backburnering that lately. But I would love to get back into that.
So do you have a garden of your own?
I do. I do not have a large yard for a garden, but I have a very lot. You would be so surprised at how little space it takes to grow as many vegetables as if you have the time and the energy to do so.
So tell me about that and how you learned about gardening. Tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Oh, I loved my childhood.
Tell me about what you learned from your grandparents.
Okay, great. So I was so blessed. I had such a loving, wonderful set of grandparents that were, anyone who ever met them, they were just full of this light and sparkle, and everybody loved them. And they were my French-Canadian grandparents, Mem and Pep, Matthew, and Florence and Joe. And they lived together and were married for, I don't even know, I think 65. I forget how many anniversaries they had.
65?
But something like that.
Wow.
And they died at 95 and 96 years old. So they lived a good, long life. And they taught me how to garden, and they taught us all how to garden. So we did.
So you actually ate farm to table as a
my
kid.
whole life.
Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Me
yeah.
too. Growing up in
So-
the Berkshires, it was farm to table. You never
Yeah,
bought
it was
lettuce in the grocery
and also
store.
we were frugal. We were frugal. I mean, let's face it. We're not gonna. And I still am a little frugal. So I like to grow an organic tomato in my garden. Rather
always
than
tastes
spend-
better.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so they teach you how to garden,
Yeah.
and then you do your own garden. But do you have a professional garden, or you buy from all the local?
You cannot, or I cannot, in the space I have. It would be too much for me to certify my tiny yard.
Okay.
And I
So
wouldn't
the
be able
yards
to
have to
grow.
be, the gardens have to be
So
certified.
it's much better to deal with farmers who've already put all of the effort into becoming a certified organic, and they're really. That's who I want to support. That's a big part of my business. But
I Googled that before we came on today, and I saw that there was quite a bit of, more so than I expected for Connecticut, these farmers that were certified. And tell me about the language, because I don't know the correct, Connecticut grown. Tell me about the awards you've won.
Okay. So some people have something called a farmer's pledge. certification or organic, which means that the USDA has not blessed it and that it's all going on.
It's in rhetoric?
They call it a farmer's pledge. It's kind of an honor system, but there's no way to prove that the methods are as clean as they say they are. So that gets a little dicey, and that is not allowed in a jar like mine, because there could be someone out there with a nefarious heart that just doesn't, do the right thing. So that's why I choose USDA organic certified, and that's why that way for sure there's no genetic modification, there's no pesticides, there's no funny business going on that you don't want, nothing synthetic you don't know about. So we won from the Connecticut Specialty Food Association, just gave us first place as the best salsa produced in the state for the year 2015.
We said that fast. You got first place.
First place, blue ribbon.
Blue ribbon.
And I also got a Made in Connecticut award too.
Did they find you, or did you apply?
I applied. Yeah.
You applied.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was it like was it a long application process? How did they tell you won? And how'd you feel when you won? Did it feel like your quest was coming to an end?
No.
Or did it start a new quest?
Are you kidding me? No, it just keeps me going, And then Morris Media, the Morris Media Group does a Green Award.
Oh.
And they gave me, this is the second year in a row I won an honorable mention for green sustainable business practices. And it's so cool to be in rooms with people that are doing such amazing,
like-minded
the
kind of
things people care about, and
Yeah.
the way they're working towards trying to make a difference for the planet, for kids, for everything.
So where do you get your biggest source of inspiration right now? Because you seem pretty jazzed up, but we all kind of, is it your family? Is it your circle of friends?
It's so
Look
hard
how nice
to,
that award looks on our screen.
It's so,
Those are pretty jazzy awards.
Thanks. Yeah.
That would jazz me up. Putting words in your mouth. What jazzes you up?
Well, I think it's an interesting question when you ask someone what inspires them, because it's such a fluid thing. What inspires me, this week, next week, 2 months from now might change.
I've got to just sidestep you here. That's exactly what Randy Weiss was talking about last Friday, that success is different for everybody, and it's okay that your version of success changes as long as it's your version. So it's very interesting that you said that.
Yeah.
So what is it?
So, when I think about my heroes and people who inspire me, my grandparents, and the light in their eyes and their ability to enjoy every moment of their life.
Do you think we do that enough as a society?
I think I do.
Good.
I think I really work at it. I think my husband does. I think my friends that I choose to spend time with do, for the most part, because that's what I'm looking for, you know. And I think it's a really important message for our children to try to live in the moment. And that's something that's hard to do, is live in the moment.
Especially kind of where
pay
we live.
attention to the moment,
And on that note, guys, I think we're over our break limit, right? Did I run over? I apologize, Rob. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with more of The Drive and Sarah Galuzzo and what it means to be on a quest for success.
Yay.
Thanks.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. HRSA Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Does advertising on HANradio.com work? Just ask Coastal Orthopedics. They ran spots with us, and within 24 hours they had 21 walk-ins and 8 calls to their new immediate care center. To advertise on HANradio.com, call 203-417-5199 and ask for Marianne Hersom.
You're listening to Hersom Acorn Radio.
We're back. Oh, we can hear each other differently now. That's kind of exciting. Tell me a little bit about how your business has changed your life and all the things that it means to you.
Okay. I think that it's been really good for our family life.
Why is that? That's a very strong statement.
Well, my children come with me when I'm doing demonstrations in the grocery stores sometimes, a lot of times at farmers markets, and they see a different part of mom, which is good for them.
Yeah.
And they also are learning a little bit about running a business, which is great for them. Sometimes running a cash box, sometimes just doing sales and marketing a little bit, and mostly going to farms with me and talking to kids also about food.
So you're really empowering them with all types of things.
I like to think
business,
so.
role modeling, financial responsibility, ingenuity.
so.
I mean, that's pretty cool. And I just lost my train of thought for my next question because I was thinking about how I also do that with Ava and what it means to her. And sometimes she'll be tired of it. You know, she's not always wanting to be in mom's business. But then sometimes she's really into it, and I kind of see the wheels spinning. And I feel like we're on the heels of Mother's Day. So we're going to take a little side road here for a second and talk about something. I think as moms, as very busy moms, but busy moms with a business, do you feel torn like I do? Like you're working and you're very passionate about what you do and you love what you do. And when you're working, sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough at home. And when you're at home, you're really feeling like, oh, I should be doing a little bit more for my business. And so you find yourself up at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then your spouse is kind of looking at you like, oh, you got to give it a rest. Do you have that dilemma? Because that's a dilemma I have.
Not only do I have that dilemma, I venture to say that every mother has that dilemma, whether she has another job outside the home or not, because being a mom is just it's a lot of work. And
you think?
and I think even a mother who is one of those what people call a stay-at-home mom, they overextend themselves so much and then sometimes get less credit for it too.
Yeah.
You know? And those are also the people who inspire me, because doing all kinds of volunteer works that those stay-at-home moms do.
Well,
is very
I mean, running
too.
a household is certainly a full-time job.
Yeah.
It is. And if you have more than one child, I say, wow, I'm a wimp with one. I admit it. Because when you have more than one, I know people say when you have more than one, it's easier. I don't know. I look at it and go, oh, my God, how would I do that? I'd be road pancake. But I think that's hopefully you'll be back for the Mother's Day show where we are going to talk about that, because I also feel a lot of times people feel ostracized. Each group ostracizes the other. Do you feel that way?
I think that's changed a lot. I think many of us are just so cool with each other, and
maybe
much
in
more
our town. I don't know if that's national.
I feel
maybe
like
in Fairfield.
I don't feel like it's like it was in the 70s where they're and 80s where it's like, do you work? And the people who don't work feel bad, and the people who do work feel judgy, and nobody's happy. I feel like for the most part, I like to think that women are becoming more supportive for the most part of one another, and understanding and redefining what feminist and being a feminist means to be. Let a woman do what she's happy doing and what fulfills her.
Well,
I like to think that.
I think I still encounter it, though, a little bit, but I think because we have so much information on the internet now, and there's so much more opinion, so there's many more choices that you can make, and there's many more ways that you can educate yourself than ever before. So maybe if you didn't feel that you knew, you had a way now to know. And I think, so you're right at that point, women now, there's a little more of a level playing field. But I do think that women with, or anybody with, ideas that, or products or services that test the status quo or outside of what might be the typical box. I think, again, that's why I asked you the question about the naysayers when you say, oh, organic would be too hard to do. people have their opinions and they default to those opinions. And I find that in even what I do, people say, well, why would you want to do that? I say, well, why wouldn't I? You know, I think it's important that if you have something to share, you share it with others. And along the way, because you fall out of a certain role, i.e. mom or wife or business owner, and you don't fit that, I definitely get a little bit of a rub. I wouldn't say it's completely away, and I hope that the Daily Drive helps that, in that, you know, we share information to move people forward so they feel empowered for something that they've been keeping dormant in their goal list or their list of intentions, or I'm going to try that someday when my kids are gone. Why not try it now?
Right.
Why not make it work now?
But to the one thing that you said in the beginning of this was, do I feel overextended? In a way, it was sort of, yes, I think we all feel overextended. I think it's the American way. I always think of this Stretch Armstrong doll I had as a kid. Do you know what a Stretch Armstrong is? It's this little, and I could just see
the arms stretching
and the legs stretching. And my friend Steve McGinnis pulled off one of the arms and it snapped. It actually snapped.
Like
so
silly
I
putty.
always think I'll be okay. I can be Stretch Armstrong just as long as none of the arms snap. So.
Interesting you say that. I feel I call myself like the Gumby. Sometimes you feel like, you know, Gumby,
Twisted,
like just twisted around. And then I think, but I really enjoy all the things I love. I just actually wish there was a few more minutes in the day. So I'm pretty passionate about bringing people on like you that will tell their story. So I don't look like the only crazy one. So that, you know, there are other people out there that are doing good things that, you know, might not just be motivational. In your case, food. Now, is there anything else you want to share with us regarding these awards? Because we kind of got it cut off before we went to break before. Did we talk about your awards and what they meant and where they were going?
Yeah.
Are we applying for any new awards this year?
I always try to see what I can do, you know, and see if I find something. I don't really have any. Sometimes I'll do some, you know, gourmet awards in Texas and places like that. And see,
cool.
You know, I send out when I think of it. It's like everything else. Oh, is that award available? Oh, I missed that deadline. Okay, what else is out there? You know, it's just a matter of, you know, when you're doing all your own sales, marketing, distribution, and everything else, it's kind of, it becomes serendipitous at times. Oh, did I forget about that? Oh, good. I didn't miss that deadline. Let's get that going, you know, and trying your best to make it all happen.
So I also know that this salsa is used as a simmer sauce.
Yes.
So you created it and it has some extra benefits. Tell me about the simmer sauce, because I've used it as a simmer sauce.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love
and
that.
Tell me some of the recipes. I know we can direct people to your website, and we will in a minute.
Sure.
But tell me about the simmer sauce component of it.
Okay, so when I made the salsa, one of the things that really irritates me about salsa is when you open up a jar and there's a ton of water in it, or it's just runny, or
watery salsa.
It's not thick. And the things that are different about my salsa, because a lot of commercial salsas many of the ingredients come from different cans, because I've seen them being made in facilities. So the red peppers come from a can.
What?
So they're not starting with fresh ingredients. So that's why.
You just let a major cat out of the bag. Red peppers out of the can?
Or a pepper out of the can, if you will. So
sorry, we're laughing a lot today, Rob.
So because it all starts with fresh ingredients, you have a little more snap, a little more bite. There's more to it anyway. And it's also structured so it's very thick, so that you can add water to it to cook with it. So the whole idea is put some chicken in a pan, give it a slight sear, flip it, add a third a jar of salsa, a third a cup of water, let it stew until the chicken's cooked through, maybe 7 to 8 minutes, whatever it is. Pour it over rice. Done.
Listen,
Dinner.
friends, I've done this. She made it sound very simple, and it is, just except for the searing part for me. I over-seared. But
then just dump it in a crock pot and run out of the house in the morning.
Honestly, the salsa simmer component is fabulous. Now, do you test your own? Do you come up with your own recipes and test them and then put them on your site?
I sure do, and I need to do a little revamp of my site. I'm in the middle of an overhaul where there'll be new pictures, and my recipes are being updated. I've been working on recipes. I just came up with a quinoa burger. I've been doing a lot of vegan recipes for fun, because that's a request. Salsa's vegan, of course. My salsa's vegan, but I
Where do you get the requests from? Do people find you on the internet?
Yep, or in stores. A lot of people talk to me in stores, and based on what they talk to me about, because I'm on the floor in different stores every week I try to be in a store or a farmer's market or a local cheese shop or wherever it is, talking to people, and I bring recipes with me and suggestions of ways to cook with the simmer sauce. So, and then I go home and I play with recipes, and I love to cook. My family loves to eat. My friends love to eat. So it works out just great.
I'm getting a fabulous signal that we have a caller on the line, so we're going to take a little break. Sarah, caller, are you there?
Hi.
Hello. Do we have a caller
Hi.
on the line? It's Denise with The Drive. Who's this?
Hi, it's Woody.
Woody, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Do you
I
have?
just wanted to say it's the best salsa ever.
You've tried it.
I love it.
Did you use the
Oh,
simmer
all
sauce?
the time. I have hot sauce and the hot and the mild. I have them both.
Okay. And where did you find it?
I found it. I found it in the store, but I also have a connection to it too.
Oh, you have a connection to it too. Well, thank you for that great shout out, and thanks for being so mindful and using a product that fuels us in a positive way, making a contribution to society. Thanks for calling, Woody.
You got it.
Have a great day.
Well, somebody loves your salsa, and somebody
That's
paid
cool.
attention to our marketing materials, which really lights me up. I know they're reading it somewhere.
Yeah, I that's
How do people
fantastic.
find you? So we'll take a little break
Yeah,
here.
maybe he got it at
Facebook?
Yeah, he could have seen it on Facebook. I think that he's my friend's husband, so
Okay.
I think she buys it and brings it in the house. Because I know she's married to a guy named Woody,
Oh.
an old friend from high school.
Okay, very good. But you can find us on Facebook. Give the name of your Facebook page.
Gorganics, USDA,
And your
organic
website?
salsa and simmer sauce. Yeah, it's www.gorganics.com.
Okay, and they're going to put that up too.
Cool.
And you can find me on denisesdailydrive.com on what you threw me off there. We were talking about something very cool. Can you remind me what we were just talking about? I had this little blip in my mind today. All right, let's go right on. What's the greatest lesson you've learned out of all of this?
Whew, wow. Are we?
Okay, I'm sorry. I got the
I've
heavy
learned
hand.
it's time to take a break.
Sarah caught that before I did. Okay, guys, it's the Daily Drive. It's the Drive with Denise DiGregoli taking a break from our new studio here in Shelton. We'll be right
Great.
back.
Thank you.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Galleries. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
Just because it's no longer boat or beach season, you don't have to abandon your lifestyle. At the Dock Shop, it's beach season all year long. The Dock Shop has just loaded up with many new products that are perfect for the gift-giving season. Fishing tackle, jewelry, nautical-themed accessories, lighting, tableware, and more. Are you heading out for a tropical winter getaway? Come by the Dock Shop and check out styles by Margaritaville Apparel, Montauk Tackle, Game Guard, and others. Stop in at the Dock Shop and enjoy the New England coast all year long. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien. DockShop.com.
It's lots of specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.com. lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
And we're back with The Drive. Denise DiGregoli, our friends at Her Sam. Thank you, gentlemen. And my friend Sarah Galuzzo, the founder of Gorganics. So this was a pretty interesting conversation about your quest for success, starting off from making baby food to really being so mindful about what you put in your product. So thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
And tell us a little bit about where you're going to be this weekend. There is a free event for the public to know about.
Absolutely. The Wilton Go Green Festival this weekend from 11 to 4 on Sunday on the Wilton Green. It's a free event. There's many vendors coming, a lot of educational programs. I believe it's kind of like their celebration of Earth Day, just a couple weeks down the road from Earth Day. So it'll be great.
Okay, so you can see Sarah there and check out her product there and at Whole Foods. And so here's a little plug for the show, The Drive, every Friday at 10. If you are enjoying The Drive, we'd love to know, connect with us on Facebook and tell us that you love it. And if you have a friend or you have a credible story and you'd like to be on, please email me at denise@denisedigrigoli.com or connect with my friends here at Hersom. They will put you through to me. It's a show about living with purpose, happiness, self-satisfaction, and how we fuel our lives, how we fuel our mind, our body, our spirit creates the lives that we live. And the goal of the show is to bring some value and valuable tips to our listeners throughout the county so that they not only empower themselves but empower others to move forward. So we'll see you next Friday. We're having, our guests next Friday are the gentleman from Sherpa in Westport, and we're going to talk about cycling. Road cycling means so much to so many people. And I will tell you myself, I've just taken on the plight to become a road cyclist. I know my husband Troy is listening. He loves that. And now he's saying, now that she committed to it on air, she must do it for real. I will tell you, I was never really an athletic person. I come out of the 80s. I'm sort of the old FIT disco girl, rollerblader. But when you have a child, you want to stay young and stay fit and stay mindful and stay active. So 5 years ago, I learned how to ski. And last year, I learned how to be a road cyclist. And I got a road cycling bike for Mother's Day, so it's just about a year. And I said to my husband, what is this, like Homer Simpson's bowling ball? You're giving me a road. You must really want to spend a lot of time with me. But since then, I will say that road cycling has really changed my life. And for those of you that are afraid of it, don't be, even though the people on the road can be a little crazy. There's a way to do it, and there's a method to the madness, and it's one of the most empowering things. So if you like yoga, you like skiing, and you like cycling, and you don't feel like you're good enough to do it, take it from a lady who is only a rollerblader. You can do it. So those friends will be on next week, and after that, the week after, we're going to have a talk about why it's important to volunteer and some of the homeless shelters in our area and what we're doing as a state initiative to change homelessness in our state. So those are some of the upcoming shows, but we don't limit the type of guests we have on the drive. We love everybody, all shapes, sizes, people that are mindful, that want to help others move forward. And yes, it's been a lot of business owners, but you don't necessarily have to be a business owner.
Can I say one more thing, Denise?
You absolutely.
We were talking earlier about books that influenced me, and I forgot to say something that I wanted to about a book I love. And the book was Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Did you read that book?
Yeah, it was our town book.
It was our one book, one town read in Fairfield a couple years ago.
It was fabulous.
And the thing that when you were saying what inspires you or drives you, one of the lines in that book that became a mantra in our town is something that I think of every day. And it is, if you have the choice to make, or the decision to be right, to choose to be right or to be kind, choose kind.
Choose kind.
And I just love that thought. So I meant to say that at some point and I forgot to, so I wanted to.
Well, thank you so very much, because that's a lot of the foundation of the drive. It's about, you can't be a success unless you make others a success. So, and then with that, I say thank you to my friends at Hersom, because they're so behind the success of this show, and my friend Rob Adams and Josh and John and Kate and Eric and AJ. We love you all. Thanks. We'll see you next Friday,
Thank you.
10 o'clock.
Thanks for having me here.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersom Radio.